the show. Wait, Leslie Rob said what? What? Leslie Rob said what? What she said? What? Leslie Rob said what?
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode, y'all, of Leslie Said What? Oh my gosh, guys, are you excited? Okay, we're in season 5. Oh my gosh, can you guys believe it's been 5 seasons? All right, so this is season 5, episode 2, and it's gonna be a good one. Okay, because y'all know we've been focusing on top tips, right? Last season we did top tips for paraprofessionals. We did top tips for school principals and all these other things. Well, tonight we're talking top tips, okay, for building a relationship with students, because y'all know the struggle to build a relationship with students is real. Am I right? Okay, so I decided to bring on an expert. I know I'm good like that. Okay, so I decided to bring on an expert. Her name is Miss Thomas. Okay, I follow her on social media, and you guys should too. Okay, you guys got to find her. It is Miss Thomas, MISS Thomas. Okay, Knows, KNOWS, and I'll give her a shout out again later. But follow Miss Thomas Knows, guys, because she knows a lot of stuff. Okay, and she's doing a current thing this week called Teachers Study Hall, which I'll get her to talk about in a bit, to help teachers as well. So definitely, guys, check out Miss Thomas. I cannot say it enough. Okay, now if you are new here, first of all, welcome to Leslie Said What, but also what you need to know is you get to join the conversation. Yes, by asking questions and making comments in the comments, and we will address your questions as necessary. Okay, and don't be trifling, y'all. Don't be trifling. Okay, don't be putting us on the spot enough. All right, without further ado, all right, I'm gonna bring her on, Miss Thomas.
Hey, Leslie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for taking time to be here.
You know how I feel about you. Like fanning out right now. I'm so thankful to be on the podcast, and I can't wait to get into the material.
Oh, me too. It just cracks me up that you said you're fanning. It cracks me up. Whenever I bring somebody on and they're like, I'm fangirling. I'm like, over who? It cracks me up. But like I said, now you guys are back in school, right?
Yes. So we're on our second week now.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. We just started like 2 days ago. So this is our first week back with kids, but we've been back for 2 weeks without kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 2 weeks without kids, girl. You know, I'm like,
oh no, we do really for a week, but okay.
Yeah. I'm like, what we doing back with no kids for 2 straight weeks? I mean, the struggle was real. Because I don't know about you. I love when my kids are there. It makes such a difference. Am I right?
I tell my kids the only reason why I roll out of bed is for them. When the kids are not in the building, I get confused. I start to get flustered, like, why am I here?
Right. So I'm with you. I'm like, y'all, okay? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, how about you introduce us? Who is Miss Thomas?
So, hello, everyone. My name is Miss Thomas. This is my 6th year teaching. I'm a social studies teacher for high school students, and I am a lover of children. I absolutely take pride in what I do as an educator, and I'm willing to do any and everything to get my students from point A to point B, whether that's inside my classroom or outside of my classroom. And I like to call myself like the Beyonce of teachers. I don't know.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Anybody that follows you would agree. You are the Beyonce. Okay, definitely, girl. Got it going on. Like legit. Oh my gosh. I love following you. Oh my gosh, you're so much fun to follow.
Thank you so much. Like I have like adults telling me like, I wish I was in your class. And I'm like, stay along, Bookie. Keep up with us. You will be in class.
Exactly. Keep following. You're going to feel like you're part of the class.
Right.
Yes. And that's something I did admire in following you is like the interaction between you and your students. I think it's just so awesome. It's admirable.
Yeah, and I think that's the gem of it. Like we are educators, but I think every year, every semester, we get a new set of students with different issues or problems that we can solve, and it keeps the spark in the job. Like my students are literally everything, and although they wear me out every single day, they literally make my job worthwhile.
Yeah, and that's the best part about it is you're a good teacher when you go out smack out at the end of the day.
I'm literally like itching for a piece of silence. And me and my coworker was laughing today as I was leaving. Students were still trying to come to my room. And I said, I can't even be mad at them. When I'm at school, I'm accessible just for them. So it does take a toll on us, but I literally wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I love it. My kids and I have such a great relationship. So yes, and we're going to dive into that in just a bit. In the meantime, Jay says hey.
Hey, Jay.
And so does Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan.
And so y'all, as you can see, as you join the comments, we can address any of your questions, any of your comments, any of your concerns. So we are going to dive right in. So Miss Thomas, what brought you to teaching?
Honestly, I was a fresh graduate from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. Go Rattlers.
Okay.
And I needed a way to buy Starbucks every day. I needed money. Like I literally needed a job. I was going to back to school to become a counselor, a child psychologist. So in between that, I needed something steady, something where I was still able to work with kids, but nothing too harsh. And as a young 22-year-old young lady, I decided that teaching was my thing, and I have not veered from it. Like absolutely the best job that I've ever had.
I love that. And especially in today's world when everybody's like, I'm running from teaching for the hills. But for me,
Absolutely.
I'm like, listen, I love my kids. I love what I do. So yes, I am right there with you on that. So yes, I could not agree more.
And like someone used to tell me, like, don't get stuck in the classroom. And at first I didn't understand that, but I understand why people may not enjoy it as often. I think it's a true connection to the students. Like teaching is way more than understanding that content. And I think people approach it as if they have to be just an educator, and they're blindsided when it's so much more.
Exactly. And that is key, because I tell teachers all the time. So I teach like a professional development on relationship building with teachers and students. It's called Bridging the Gap Between Teacher and Student. And the reason I teach it is because you will not survive as a teacher if you cannot have a relationship with your kids. You're not going to last. It won't make, I mean, you just won't make it.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, you'll just be existing on fumes, but that's
right.
about it.
And everybody's experience will be bad, and we don't want that.
Exactly. Now, what grade level do you teach?
So I currently teach only 11th graders.
Okay.
But I have taught every grade level. So I have taught 9th through 12th. And I would like to say that I think teaching juniors is my favorite thing. I like they come to me well prepared. So they're prepared for the rigorous like content that I give, but they're also seeking so much information before senior year, trying to map out their lives. And I think that's the counselor in me. Like, I want to teach you and I want to provide structure for you, but I also want to help you plan your college going away party or help you pick out a dress for next year. So I think juniors are my sweet spot. I love the juniors.
Oh, I love that. And see, and that's the thing, is finding your sweet spot as a teacher. I was just about to say the word sweet spot. So like, that's awesome. I was about to say those two words together, because literally finding your sweet spot as a teacher is what makes the difference. Because sometimes when people, especially with the teacher shortage, they run from teaching, but they don't realize that it may not be the fact that, oh, teaching is terrible. It may be the grade level. Try switching up grade levels, try switching up schools, try switching up admin, and just see maybe what your fit is.
Yes. And being patient in that process. I think especially non-traditional teachers, we approach this looking for something. And 9 times out of 10, it's money. Yeah. But we don't take the time to truly find our sweet spot. And because I fell in love with the children, the sweet spot kind of crept up on me. I was so involved in loving the children and making sure they were successful and getting what they needed, that as I continued to go through the semesters, I was like, wow, well, I like juniors. I might want them again. Yeah. Or I like US history. Let's do it again. Let's raise those scores. So I think I was patient enough as I was, kind of going through the field of education. I was patient enough to kind of let my sweet spot creep up on us. But many of us don't have that opportunity.
Yeah. And like you said, being patient in the process to get to the point so that you know your sweet spot. Yes. No, I'm with you. Now, I teach an elective, so I teach all 4 grades, 9th through 12th as well. So I know you said you've had that experience. And so in teaching an elective, like, you get a variety of kids, a variety of personality, which is again why relationship is so essential.
Yes.
But I tell you, in building a relationship with kids, some of the funniest things go down. So can you tell us what is a funny experience you have had as a teacher?
I have had so many.
Really?
I I literally believe that my classroom can be like a very funny episode of The Office. Just thought
I love it.
if I just like even as recent as like last week, one of my students, a former student, we are a couple of days into school. She brings me a bag full of goodies, which I am so appreciative.
Oh
She
yeah.
bought me a Stanley. She bought me some
Ooh.
candy, and she bought me this big, huge flag with my face on it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm opening up the gifts, and she's like, "Do you like it?" I'm like, "Yes, I love it. The flag, the cup." And then I get to the candy, and she's like, "Well, I have to tell you something." And I'm looking at, I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Well, I'm hungry. Can I have the candy?" And I'm literally like, "You know what? Have it." So she gifted me candy that she knew she was gonna ask me for. Yes. And it's
She
just
knew what she was doing.
I'm like, "You know what? Have it, girl. Like, you got it." It's
Oh
just
my
they're
gosh.
so free spirited, and I think that I create a space to where they literally can speak their minds. It just
Mhm.
comes out so naturally. Oh my gosh, they always keep me on my toes.
That cracks me up because that's something that we would do to our auntie. So it's almost like she sees you as the auntie in that aspect. That's
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
I love it.
I
I
love my
love it.
girl.
She
She's
tried to
super
play you
sweet.
for real though.
Right, and she know I'm not gonna let her go hungry, so have the candy.
Exactly. I mean, hey, she didn't go cheap on that family, so that's what's up.
And the flag is so on brand for me. She asked me today, did I put the flag in my room, and I said I ran out of double-sided sticky tape, but the flag is
Oh.
up. It's a big picture of my face, and I know my admin team is gonna look at me crazy, but it's a story behind it. So we're about that.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. Like some of the stuff that we do that may not be something that other people understand and for the sake of building a relationship with our students, it's not for anybody else to understand. It's for like I always tell people, I said teach for you and your kids, not teach to for anybody else. And that we also have to make sure that we're not teaching to prove our merit, but to prove and show the kids theirs.
Yes.
So
And I really like that. Like, the last point of like, it's not to prove who I am and how valuable I am. I'm really trying to, essentially, in the beginning of the year, I'm trying to, it sounds a little like off, but I'm literally trying to get these kids to believe in themselves.
yeah.
Like they believe in themselves, but like not really. Like they just, and I'm telling them, like, they're great. You're a king, you're a queen. Let's do it. I have high expectations. Like, I'm consistently putting positive energy in the space, even when they don't believe in themselves. And even
Yes.
when we fall short of our expectations, it's not a bad day. It's just
Mhm.
space for improvement. So I love
I love that. That is so well said. I totally
it.
could not agree with you more. Which is a perfect lead into what are some of your top tips or stories or both or whatever for building a relationship with students?
First day, it starts off with that first impression. So I am now in the season where my students know me before they have my class, but there was a point in time where like the kids didn't know who I was. So I made it very apparent, one, that this is our room. So I didn't present classroom rules to them. We created it together, as well as the consequences. So we're all on the same page. So
Oh,
when
I love
teachers ask me like, "Hey, how do you get so and so to behave?" I said, "Well, we knew what it was on day one, and it hasn't wavered from that."
yeah.
So that and like feeling as if there's no class system in my classroom. Like we are all a
Mm.
family, we are all together, we are all one. I am the teacher, but I sit at my students' desk with them sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
on the beanbag helping them with work. Like you have to bring a sense of like like normality to them. We are teachers, but like they are humans, and we have to consider that as we educate them. So making them feel included, getting down to their level or meeting them where it's normal, and showing them that you care. And I don't think that's something you can practice. You have to have it in you. Like the
Mhm.
kids know if you care or not. It's
Oh,
they
they know.
8, 9, and the kids are like, my new students are wanting to stay with me during lunch because they feel like I care about whatever they have to talk about.
Yes, I bet you get that too, where it's like, can I stay with you?
And they know, they're like, I'm about to. Well, so one of my students, shout out to he knows who he is. He came up to me. He says, Miss Thomas, and I said yes. He says, I'm about to ask you a question, and I will literally beg. I said, what is it? He said, can I please stay in here for lunch? I said, baby, you don't have to beg. Yes, you can stay in here for lunch. So it's like
Aw.
little moments like that, the little free time that they have from instruction, they still rather stay in the class. And I think
Mhm.
that's because that classroom is home for them. I've created an environment to where the classroom does not look like a jail cell. It looks
Yeah.
like a place where I can thrive and I can chill if I want to. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Kids are weird, not weird, but kids waver from semester to semester, day to day, even. So you just kind of have to be observant and, like, take heed to what the kids are saying because they tell you exactly what they want.
Oh, for sure. They are definitely straight up.
They are straightforward. It's no gray areas.
Mhm.
We're cleaning up your approach, but like they will tell you.
Oh,
And
for sure.
I think teachers fail to listen a lot. Like
Yes.
that's another thing. Like you're not listening.
Mhm.
So I don't know. This is a crazy game in education.
Yes, no, I agree with you. And that's the thing too, like you were saying, like that approach that we have with our kids, and like you said, they know who's for them and they know who's against them, who believes in them and who doesn't.
Mhm.
Um, and the thing that is so essential. Um, Clem says in the comments, yes, they do tell you and they have no filter.
Sometimes they tell us too much. I'm like, listen, baby, um, you can't tell. I have to report this, okay? So as soon as you think you are, I literally have to report this. Don't put me in
Exactly.
that position.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, Miss Rob, let me tell you the tea. I'm like, okay, listen, hold on. I'm gonna need you to think about the tea. If the tea gonna make Miss Rob have to report it, because you know Miss Rob is a mandated reporter, and then if the tea ain't that type of tea, then all right, tell me what's going on.
Yes. Like, so who did it?
Who
Like,
who did what now? Girl. And they tell you straight up.
yes, the stories I hear from these kids, like,
I know it's so insane. Now tell us about what you're offering this week, Teachers Study Hall. Tell us about that.
so teachers study hall, like I think people think I have this magic sauce or like this secret thing that I do in my classroom to get the students engaged and motivated, but I don't. So what I decided to do is a mini series. It's teacher study hall. It's just grabbing teachers for 2 to 3 minutes every single day a week and giving them a tip to help them not be so boring. And it's not
I love
boring
how
as
you said that.
yeah, it's not boring in the respects that you're not trying or you're not doing your job. It's boring because you don't know your audience.
Yeah,
You're teaching students and you have to be student centered. And I
100.
think we miss that and we think that doing too much or going the extra mile isn't worth it, but I think it makes all the difference. So
Oh,
teaching
it does.
is literally dropping gems, helping you kind of connect with your students and create an environment where learning is fun.
Hmm. And that's the thing too, is I think people misconstrue fun with chaos, or they misconstrue it with a teacher who doesn't have good classroom management, but that's not the case. I'm sorry, if I walk past your classroom and all your kids are cookie cutter kids in the chair doing what they're supposed to do, it's quiet, ain't nobody I'm sorry, what you do to them kids?
I'm
Like,
literally scared. It looks staged. It looks weird. And like,
mhm.
what are we doing? And I know that I love how you spoke on like the classroom management thing every day. No matter the platform, I have people question my classroom management skills and question like, do I have structure in my class? And I don't think that you have to sacrifice structure, classroom management to have fun and enjoy learning. And
Not at all.
I think we forget again, like as humans, we go and we shop at places that are aesthetically pleasing. We
Mhm.
don't, we sit at restaurants, we look at them on Instagram and things like that because we want to walk in a place with a certain expectation. So do kids. And
Exactly.
I we're missing the mark. And I think a lot of amazing teachers are being, are not connecting with the kids how they could, simply because they're not understanding their audience.
Oh, so true. And the thing is I don't know, and not this is not a slight on any type of seasoned teacher, but
Correct.
some of our seasoned teachers do have a very dated point of view when it comes to teaching, and not just teaching, but their approach to dealing with the kids. And I tell teachers all the time, you ask before you attack. And the reason I say ask before you attack is because I have this student last year, um, one of my tough girls, because I taught I teach Title One.
Okay. I love Title One. Never
Me
have fear
too.
coming. Yes.
Yeah, and so she's one of my tough girls,
Okay.
and she don't play.
Okay.
And it took me forever to break in, but I got in.
Okay.
And I'm on her good side. And so, she comes to my room talking about, oh, such and such. She don't even know who she's talking to. She don't even know who she messing with. And she was talking about the teacher, girl, not
Okay.
talking about a student. Talking about a teacher like she equally grown. I'm walking out the teacher's classroom and was like, "Oh, I'm not going back there. You can't make me go back there, Miss Rob. I'm chilling with you. I'm chilling with you." And I'm like, "Okay, first of all, let's bring it down a notch." And so I got her to calm down, got her down to a baseline, and was like, "Okay, I got her to agree to go back to class if I walked her back to class." Girl, so she and I walk out of my classroom. I said, "Okay, stand right here outside the bathroom. I'm running to the bathroom." No lie. Okay, I'm in the bathroom. She's standing in the hallway. I don't know what I was thinking. So somebody, an adult, I'm not going to say names, comes and sees her, and because she has a reputation, the adult goes, "What are you doing out here?" And that was a wrap.
Yes.
We went from, "Okay, just wait 1 minute. I'm gonna take you back to class." We're at a calm state to she lost it on the adult. And the thing is now we have a referral for something that didn't even have to be necessary. If you would have asked her instead of attacked her,
Yeah.
the response would have been different. Yeah, she would have had a smart mouth, but it wouldn't have been too as aggressive as it was. So that's why I always encourage teachers, when you were trying to build a relationship with kids, ask, don't attack. Even if a kid falls asleep in your class, ask.
Do you have a job? Are you work? Like, you have to ask, and it's I love that, and I'm literally gonna put it in my toolbox, because that is sometimes the glue to the relationship. You were that teacher that simply asked and inquired and gave the child the space to speak on why they may even behave that way. And again, we do have a lot on our plate as teachers. I do understand that.
100%, yeah.
But there are some things that we must clean off first before we get to the good stuff. You cannot think that you are going to have a successful school year if you don't feel like a child has a voice.
Right.
And like you said, I think many adults approach it on the attack because they know the routine. They know that child based off their characteristics, but every day is different. And we have to move that way. We have to. So I just, it's the approach. Like, I do nothing different. I want my students to feel comfortable and safe in my space. And I think that I have never written a referral.
Yeah. Wow. See that exactly. I had to ask. I said to one of my students, I said, I had to ask one of the teachers, how you write a referral?
I don't like, we are trying to teach kids real life scenarios, situations. That's why I don't take cell phones. That's why I allow them to eat, because at my job, I can eat. At any job that I've been in the United States military, I can eat while I'm at work. That's the thing. So when we strip students of these things that are necessary in the real world, we're not creating a realistic environment for them.
No.
So you have to, like, what is a referral? What is that?
Yeah.
Like, I've called home now because this is a village. We're going to connect it. Like, this is going to get addressed, but what are you going to write a referral and then be out of my class for 2 days? No, I'm going to miss you.
No, exactly. They're like, we get a vacation.
No, not with me.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
And that's something that you talked about today in teacher study hall. You talked about it's the approach. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
How you say it. Like, literally, my students have a filthy mouth. And we collectively came up with some consequences, but even when they disrespect their classmates or say something that is not appropriate, I make them say to each other, "Sorry, king, sorry, queen." Because all the B's and the H's I hear in the hallways.
I know.
So anytime they like, "Miss Thomas," I'm like, "Yes, king, yes, queen." I'm saying it because I want you to truly believe it and know that and
I
walk
love
in
that.
that strength. Like, you have to understand your value. Many times we're telling children, you're not this, like you can't make it to this level, you're not proficient, you're not distinguished, all
Mhm.
this, you're not. What are they
Right,
then?
right. I
So
agree.
it's a tough job, but it's so rewarding.
Mhm.
I love when they come in, they're like, "Hey, Queen." I hear them in the hallway, "Queen." I just love it. It might be a
Mhm.
joke to them, but what you like, you are what you do. You are what you say. Like, it's a joke, but that is you, Queen. That's you.
Exactly, exactly, because you're still getting your point across, like, you want them
Yes.
to embrace that, and what's funny is and I don't know if funny is the correct word, but I try to tell teachers, like, when they're like, "I don't understand," or, like, when I offer these professional developments and I'm talking about, like, ask and don't attack, or, like, make sure you hear the student, and the fact that the people are writing it down like it's new knowledge is mind-blowing to me. I
Yeah.
mean, I just have always been able to connect with my kids on a level like that, but it just I have to understand that other teachers, if they're open to it, can adjust and improve. Even if they're open to something like your teacher study hall or whatever, they can improve, but they have to want to improve and not be so stuck on their script and their agenda and proving their merit. There's something that I was trying to give a teacher an idea, because she was like, well, how do you dial it back? I was like, as far as like how you talk to them, you need to dial it back. And she's like, well, how do I do that? So I told her, and this is something that may help other teachers, is to talk to your kids as if they're your employees and not your children. So
Mm.
don't act like you're their parent. Act like you're their employer. Because I know the way that we talk to some of these kids. If our
You.
principal came in there talking to me like that, I'd be like, "What's wrong with you? You better."
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So I'm like, talk to your kids like they're your staff member and not your child, because that'll help curb the way that you
That
talk to them.
Yes, and it's actually funny that you said that, because I think I work so hard for my students, because I think the opposite. I have about
Mm.
100 bosses that expect me to go from unit 1 to unit 12 with high energy, with precision, with consistent. They expect me to just be here, preform, not teach,
Yeah.
preform,
Mhm. Mhm.
grade their stuff, go to their games, come to their parties, go to their everything, and do it again the next week.
Mhm.
And I think that's why my drive is so hard, because it's a service to them. I am of service to them. How like, I don't know. It's just the audacity. Sometimes I think teachers don't understand the power and the impact that they have, because they're
Mhm.
so stuck on roles and like this authoritative figure. We are there to inspire them, and we can do that being our true authentic selves while still being the adult. That is still
Exactly.
realistic. So I don't know. It'll come around, hopefully. Either they'll wash out or they'll get it together.
Yeah, and I liked what you said the other day, because this kind of piggybacks off of what you were just saying just now, when you had posted in your story about being like what gets relayed as immature. Like, I definitely get relayed to be as immature, and I'm like, you can call me whatever you want, but I thrive on being immature.
Me.
Um, and so like me and my students, like, but I it's not that I come down to their level in a negative way. I come down to their level because I know, like you said earlier, they are just as human as I am.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, and and with anybody, if somebody's going to meet you at your level and meet you where you are, you can't help but like literally try and work with them and collaborate with them. So that's how that relationship is formed. And like I said just a few minutes ago, teachers who like heavily are so scripted, and like they spent all night working on a lesson plan, and you know how it is. Okay, let's be right on a lesson plan, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so good. You get to work, either the kids are done in 5 minutes
Yes.
and they're like, forget this, or
Emergency fire
you
drill
get,
or something
yeah,
random.
they rush through it. Like, and then teachers take that stuff personally. That is another thing. Another tip for teachers is not to take things personally. As a teacher, you cannot take things personally. And I
Yeah.
am so big on telling people to take and I know it sounds crazy, but they have to, like I tell people all the time, all right, emotion cannot dictate teaching. You
Mm.
can't, yeah, emotion can't dictate teaching. It has to be the love, because love is not an emotion, it's a choice to
Yes.
be patient, to be kind, and all the things. Like, you have to change your approach to teaching so that it's a more of a choice to love and be there for those kids, not more so of a job. Because
Yes.
teaching shouldn't be a job.
And I find that those who love children excel in the craft. That has been consistent everywhere I go. Every teacher I've seen that I've see good practices and have a connection with their students, they are literally driven by love, because we are literally insane to do this every day, year after year. A bunch of kids that we love so much and we give everything to, and then sign up to do it again.
No,
with new kids, new babies, new issues, new problems. Like it is a handful, but it's so rewarding. And I find that as the years go on and I get deeper into my career, the rewards are bigger. Like,
oh, for sure.
One of my first favorite students, shout out to Brianna. She graduated from Florida State University for free. This is
my gosh, go girl.
Graduated from a very small rural town, the only high school in that area, nothing around it. No, they're like, beat the odds. She is that girl.com. And she, like, many times has said, like, I want to be like you are. I'm like, I could never be you. I could never do what you did for free, my girl. Florida State. I'm just, the rewards get bigger, the babies, the marriages, the everything. I'm here for it. Like, I'm buckled up. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, see, and I love how you again shifted that from proving your merit to proving hers. So like when she was talking about, you know, how much she wants to be like you, you're like, oh honey, I could never be you.
I could never. And I think that's another thing. Even the teachers that they are inspired by, it seems so far-fetched for them. Like, I want to be this person. Like, you come to school and you're so happy all the time. You've got your Starbucks and you love us and you have parties for us. Many of the times they don't know I go to school because I need them. I need them. I provide service for them and these experiences because I need them to be happy. That feels nice. So like, I love my kids year after year, different kids. I'm still so obsessed. But I think if teachers understood the impact they had on kids, they would move a little different. And if they understood how kids look at them in this like idolized way, they would come down to bring it to them in a more realistic way. Because I tell my kids, like, y'all are like my little cousins. We are the same people.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Unfortunately, yeah, like, come on, guys.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, I know that it's going to sound kind of crazy, but I tell people all the time, don't take teaching so seriously. Like I said, if I had to come up with a teacher tip book, it would say, what are you yelling for? That's what I would call it. What are you yelling for?
One of my kids asked me that today. Have you ever yelled? And I'm like, yes, girl. Like, I get down. They're like, for real? And I'm like, yes. And sometimes I'm like, I know you guys take me for a joke, but like, I'm so serious. And they're like, for real right now? And I'm like, for real right now.
Now. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, so again, guys, Miss Thomas is at, and I have it scrolling here at the bottom, to follow her on all social media platforms at Miss Thomas Knows. If you are loving this discussion and you want to hear more tips, definitely follow her as she is posting this week her teacher study hall to provide even more tips for teachers, things that she may have mentioned, things that may be new. So definitely tune in and follow her. Ms. Thomas, do you have any encouragement for fellow teachers? Like whether it's a teacher who wants to give up, a teacher who's just starting the school year, any type of advice you want to offer?
Yes. For any aspiring teacher, new teacher, veteran teacher, a teacher on the edge, a teacher in the beginning, I want to encourage you to be that it teacher. And when I say that, I mean, I want you to go in looking to inform your students, inspire your students, and transform their minds. And if you can be that it teacher, that IIT teacher, if you can be that, you will be successful no matter where you plant your feet. So inform, inspire, transform minds.
I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. See, guys, I'm telling you all the nuggets. Okay, so you guys gotta definitely go check her out. Okay, she is at Miss Thomas Knows, and she said it is on all social media platforms. So it doesn't matter what it is that you're on, you can find her at Miss Thomas Knows. And if you know that a friend could benefit from this, a teacher friend, a teacher family member, whatever, tell them that it'll be available via audio on all podcast channels and lesliesaidwhat.com tomorrow. And that the video version is available on Facebook immediately following our live. So, Miss Thomas, thank you. And thank you again so much for taking time to be here.
Thank you so much, Queen. This means everything. This was absolutely a pleasure. And let's do this again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we definitely have to do some more stuff together, some more collaborations.
Yeah, it's like a crazy Disney collab episode.
Oh, for sure, girl. Just keep them coming.
Thank you so much for everything.
Oh, no problem. All right, I'm going to pull you out. So wait backstage for me, though. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Guys, didn't you guys enjoy that? Oh my gosh, such great discussion, right? I hope that you teachers who are watching were able to get some nuggets. And so for Miss Thomas students who joined in, she did say you guys will get some extra credit. So that is awesome. All right, guys, as always, thank you all so much for being here, because without you, this would not be a podcast. It would just be us talking into the air. Okay, so we are grateful that you all are here. All right. So without further ado, okay, Leslie Said What, season 5, episode 2 is out.